My next tip is I want you to stay in your zone of genius. So whatever that is for you in your business. I know for me as a brand photographer, my zone of genius is when I got my camera in hand and I am taking photos of my clients. Everything else, I want you to outsource. Maybe not everything else, but eventually that could be a good goal, is to outsource everything else that is not in your zone of genius. If my minimum hourly rate to where I can, still pay my taxes, pay myself, run my business is, let's just say, $300 an hour. So I know I need to charge that, and I know I can charge that or more for photography. Then what I need to do is focus on, booking hours of my time that are $300 an hour or more in compensation, because everything else I can probably outsource for less than $300 an hour. And I want you to allow yourself to outsource things that have nothing to do with your business. For example, a couple of my favorite things to outsource are cleaning my house and grocery shopping. And while I could do these things, I know someone who can do them faster and better than me, and for a lot less money than I can make per hour of my time as a photographer, and generating more revenue for the business. And ultimately, I will make more money, and I'm staying in my zone of genius, so I'm much more happy because I don't really like cleaning the house or grocery shopping, and so it really, really drains my energy to force myself to do all these things when there's already so much on our plates as business owners. Outsourcing and getting support in my business is something I wish I had done a lot sooner, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of us know what we could be outsourcing, especially if you're a photographer. You could just outsource your culling. You could outsource editing. You could outsource invoicing and sending the proposals to your clients. You could outsource social media management. You could outsource your bookkeeping. Start to think smart and think long term when it comes to this stuff, and just start. That's my best advice when it comes to outsourcing. Start with just one little thing, make a list of everything you do in your business, and circle the 3 that you want to outsource first. It's definitely a mindset one, and it is to embrace the first draft. I don't know if you've ever got caught up in procrastination or perfectionism, the 2 P's, but I definitely have been guilty of this. And we want to think action over perfection. I promise you, you can always perfect it later, but just get the first draft out of whatever it is you're creating, wherever you're stuck. Get that first draft out and know that it is not the last draft. It's only the first draft, and just start to remind yourself that everything you produce in the world is the first draft. You can always update it later. You can always make it better. I know for me, when I just create and get things out into the world, I see much better results and I grow faster. I get better faster than when I'm overthinking and I'm just stuck in my head in that perfectionist cycle. That is the quickest way to lose at entrepreneurship, okay? Entrepreneurs have to embrace being imperfect and just getting that first draft out into the world. The next CEO hack I have for you is to not take anything personally. And this is from Don Miguel Ruiz, his book, The 4 Agreements. It's one of the 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. So this is a hard shift to make if you are really like a heart-centered entrepreneur, if you're empathic, as a creative and an artist. I know we get really attached to our photos and our work, and we really spend a lot of time and energy into perfecting them, how we love it. But we have to make that shift as brand photographers to thinking about our clients and what they want and what's best for their brand, and really bringing their vision to life. So a lot of times if we get bad feedback or clients don't like our service or product, it is nothing personal. It's not that they don't like you. It's that the service you provided did not meet their expectations, or the product you provided wasn't in alignment with what they wanted. It is literally nothing personally, so we really have to not get too emotionally attached. And one thing I like to do, if you do get an email that's triggering or a text or something, think on it for a few hours or even a few days. Don't respond right away, because a lot of times if we respond right away, we're in that really emotionally charged place. And we are not thinking from a CEO mindset, of what's best for the business and separating our emotions from the issue at hand. So just take some time to cool off. Don't take anything with business personally. Remember, this is a business, and working with other business owners, it's their business. So it's nothing personal, it's just business to business. The next tip is one of my favorites, and it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I want you to really embrace this mindset and know that it's okay if you run into a failure or a setback in your business. In fact, it's bound to happen. And 2 steps forward, 1 step back is actually a pretty normal pace in the entrepreneur world. Personally, I've had a lot of success in my business, but it doesn't mean I haven't had setbacks and failures. I definitely have. I've had unhappy clients. I have lost money. I've made bad investments. I've wasted time. And ultimately, I've learned some pretty hard lessons. So I just want to normalize this for you. And I really love using this mantra, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Whenever I do have setbacks and I feel that frustration coming up, I will remind myself, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Next, I want to remind you, business is a marathon, not a sprint, and to really have this mindset in mind, because we can accomplish a lot more in 5 to 10 years than we can in 5 to 10 months. And I think sometimes we're thinking so limited, and we're only thinking of the next few months in our business rather than the longevity in the next few years. As someone who has actually ran a marathon successfully and unsuccessfully, I can tell you that a sprint is only sustainable for so long. Trust me, the first attempt at my full marathon, I failed miserably. I had to be, driven off the course in one of those like medical vans because I couldn't move my body. I came back and I ended up running a full marathon successfully. I felt amazing after. I was hardly sore the next day. And that's because I trained better and I was thinking more longevity, and I treated myself and my training a lot different with that new mindset than my original first attempt at just making it happen and hustling and working hard. That's only sustainable for so long in our businesses. Boundaries, our favorite B word. So when we talk about boundaries, it's a big topic for probably another video, but the point that I want to remind you is that CEOs have fierce boundaries, okay, with their time, with what they say no to. CEOs say no a lot more than they say yes. They have clarity on the few goals they're very focused on right now, and everything else is a no. So I want you to get really comfortable with saying no and starting to create and implement boundaries in your business and life. And when we talk about boundaries, it goes into your personal boundaries as well. I've gotten really, really good at my business boundaries, but my personal boundaries I found recently needed a little upgrade because I was just saying yes to everything when it came to friends and family, and it was fun, but it was just really draining me, and I realized I wasn't really in alignment with the life I wanted to live. Lastly, I want to remind you that CEOs don't constantly say, what do I need to do next? What is my strategy? Instead, they're asking better questions. They're asking, who do I need to become in order to really create this thriving business and a life of freedom and manifest all my desires? It's more about who you need to become as a person, and really high-performing CEOs know this, that it's not so much about what you're doing as who you're being. And so I want to encourage you to really start to embody that future you that you really see yourself stepping into over the next few years in your business, and start to make decisions from that place, asking, who do I need to become? What would future me, Meg, what would she do in this situation? How would she be handling this? What kind of systems would she be setting up in her business right now to really support her? I hope this was helpful for you. So much we could talk about with the CEO mindset, but the important thing is that you take away a couple of these tips and start to really implement them in your business. and start to really embody that next version of you, that CEO that you are really destined to become. And let me know how you liked this. Let me know if there's another topic that you want me to talk about, or maybe something from this video you want me to expand on and do its own video about. I'm happy to do that for you. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to this video, and I will see you later.